Hi. As you can see, I'm still on the webcam. Unfortunately, um, due to a technical issue, I have to wait for a new battery for my camera, so hopefully this will be the final video that I have to do with the webcam, and I can go to a much better camera for the next video. Originally this was going to be a Q&A, but instead I'm going to be doing the Dixon White Challenge. Now, some of you know that this is probably now months old, but I wasn't able to do it back then because I wasn't able to record videos. So, having said that, here we go. In this challenge, we were asked to speak about white privilege and to speak about healing this and healing the issues and figuring out how to unify and all these things, and find ways to personally tell our stories. Going back to the year 2000, it was a very difficult time for me. I was finally becoming comfortable in my own skin as far as who I am, as far as the fact that yes, I'm a bisexual male. I was going through a lot of turmoil inside, still having some issues because I wasn't getting along all that well with some of my family, and it made it very hard. But during this time, a person came into my life. His name was Denny. I don't know what has ever happened. We broke up several months after we started dating. But overall, he was a very good, man. We just didn't get along very well. We couldn't stop arguing, stuff like that, But he was a black man. I say was because I don't know if he's alive, if he's dead, who he's seeing, where he lives, none of that. We've lost complete contact, so I don't, so if I say was, I don't mean to imply that he's not on this earth anymore. And if he happens to watch, I hope you're doing very, very well. But back then, I'd started dating him, and we moved in together kind of quickly. Probably a little too quickly. We should have gotten to know each other better. But, sometimes you do things, in the heat of passion, and, you start to love someone, and sometimes you just act a little too quickly. But, to my point, there's an instance where I finally understood what white privilege was. And I didn't understand it before. And it wasn't because I wasn't friends with people who were black or Native American or Hispanic or anything. I've always been very open and accepting of other people, and always tried to pride myself on the fact that I wasn't like a lot of people who were very ignorant or very openly racist even in my area. And it is a major problem, when you are from Indiana, or when you are from anywhere in the Midwest or South. Especially, I think it is a major problem, with a lot of people still holding on to the same ignorances that their parents and their grandparents had. Instead of opening their eyes, opening their ears, talking, listening, and just trying to make friends with people. I think it's a huge problem. But this day, that this story I'm sharing, and I know I'm being a little long-winded, so I apologize. We had a chance to go out to eat, and decided to go into a restaurant chain called Cracker Barrel. Now, in hindsight, maybe I should have understood what that restaurant chain really meant when they said cracker. Because it is very obvious that they have a very bad history when it comes to how they treat minorities. Whether you are gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, or you're black or Hispanic. And that's not to say that individual restaurants can't probably be good, but the company as a whole has a major, major problem. Or at least it did in the year 2000. Because I have not been back in 15 years. And unless I find out that the corporate CEO personally flies to Denny and apologizes to him for this. Doesn't need to apologize to me. Needs to apologize to Denny. Unless I find that out, I will not step foot into a Cracker Barrel restaurant ever again. So I want that made clear. And the reason why is we go in and Denny's apprehensive. He doesn't really want to eat there, but it's one of my favorite places to go. I never even think, because I'm in my own bubble, that this place might be not so good. I never thought about it. Because growing up, it was a place that my grandparents loved taking me to, and my parents loved taking me to, and it always felt like a connection to history, and whether it was the colonial settlers, or if it was the Native Americans, I always felt like it brought kind of a connection to that. And at the time I was kind of enamored with that. I've never been a country music fan really, and now can't stand the genre, but at the time I didn't understand what was wrong with the place until this day. We get there, he's apprehensive, I don't understand why, but we sit down to order to eat. Waitress gives us our menus, goes about her business helping other customers. We're talking, we're looking at the menu, trying to have a good time. But slowly I can see that some of the customers are staring at us. And I should tell you, Denny is, he is a transgender or transsexual. I can't remember, because it's been so many years now, where he falls under this. But all of a sudden I realized, people are staring at us, and it's not everyone in the restaurant, but there are probably a good 6 or 7 people staring at us, and I'm wondering why. And I'm also noticing it's taking an absurdly long time for us to get our food, for us to get our drinks, after we've placed our order, and I don't know why. It took us 30 minutes before we got a drink. Another 15 minutes before our meals came and they were cold. And it's the first time I've ever had this experience in this restaurant, and I don't know what's going on until one white lady, an older white lady, speaks up and said, "You're disgusting." And I'm like, what the hell? It's like, lady, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm just sitting here trying to enjoy a meal. What the hell is so disgusting about that? And she's like, and she just, instead of explaining herself, she just kind of stammers off. And then the manager comes up, says, "Well, customers are complaining. I think you need to leave." And I'm like, "Excuse me? We've done nothing." And didn't go well after that point. Says, "Well, we don't take kindly to," and then he throws the N-word out. And it's like, my mouth dropped, and even Denny's, I think, at that point kind of dropped, like, I don't think we expected that. I knew Denny was apprehensive and thought this was not a good idea, and for this reason, like, we weren't going to get treated well because of, what he knew that I didn't. And it was very painful, because here I am feeling bad for a person I love at the time. And it is one of the most shocking moments of my entire life, I think, because it's not often you hear that. But then I just stood right up at him and I said, "Look, you motherfucker, you do not come over and start talking that way. Now, you're right. We are going to leave. And if you think you're getting a dime out of us, you're dead wrong. Because you don't come and treat people like that. And if I want to enjoy a good lunch with my boyfriend, I should have the right to do that in peace, just as anyone else does. And if they have a problem with it, fuck them. I don't care. You don't get the right to do that." And he said, "Look, you fucking faggot, get out." And he started saying, "I don't like," and faggots, and at the part I can't say that word without wanting to vomit. So that's how much that word just offends me. It's just meh. So here this happens, and leads to an argument. I get tossed. We get tossed outside, and I never pay the bill. But I'm about to run out of time, and so I'm gonna have to create a part 2 on this. But know that I will finish this in part 2. Thank you.